should just keep looking. Whoever has left has done his own bit. It is your own turn. So, and move. So, I wish you, success in your, as you steer the affairs of the university, FUNA. Well, actually, I must say that one is really, I'm happy that this type of workshop is taking place. Because as the visa has mentioned, to really perform a research function now, you cannot rely on, there's really nothing really seriously funding coming from government. And of course, you cannot just say that we blame government, because research funding, oftentimes, you rely on the institution to generate research ideas, for which you then look for funding agencies, or you respond, to the call for grants. But as I will be sharing with you my experience, in being involved in award of grants, I will tell you the common pitfalls that we have witnessed, which I'm sure in this workshop, you'll be correcting and under proposal writing and other issues. So it's very, very important. I must also say that I felt jealous when I started hearing the anthem of FUNA, and I was looking at people really, singing it. I felt jealous because at the University of Ibadan, I don't think we were able to sing, really the university item as I could witness. But I said, I asked the PC, because I couldn't look back. Were they projecting the levels? I didn't want to look back. But even when projected, in UI we also project, you still see people, but here I could see that, and of course the vice chancellor that was not even looking at the projection was singing. Yes. And I said that I could understand why. Any vice chancellor, any candidate preparing for vice chancellorship, you better start cramming me. I'm sure in another 1 year you will almost forget me. So, it is indeed a great pleasure. Well, of course, as the title has indicated, paradigm shift in institutional approach to fund sourcing for research activities. What I've done in here as a start off is to always give what is the central message of the lecture that that one is giving in here in addressing the issues. Now, the central message of the lecture first, I said the ongoing globalization of the world economies is such that developing nations such as ours were casualties in the take no prisoner war of global competition for markets and resources. In other words, what I want to be able to do is to let you see the global picture. This is not just that you are doing research in the university. No, research for what? It is important for you to see the global picture of research in university and what is expected, so that you'll be able to package research that will make meaningful impact on development. It is not just a question of, I'm doing research because I like this area. No, it is not just research only for publish or perish, respond to public or perish towards people, but a research that is moving. And then also, to be able to give you the idea in what direction is research funding really moving, in which you can then align, your research ideas and then in apply. Then the second is that the major tools of offense and defense in this war, because it's really war, as I will show you, are basically knowledge and information driven by science, technology, engineering, and innovation. Those are the instruments being used. Then the third is that the development and deployment of setting capacity in to the socio-economic development of our nation state. As you all know, we are having knowledge economy. What is driving knowledge economy is nothing more than these elements. And of course, this is a science-driven university. So you're part of the element in helping the country to face this. And I said before, the universities are centers of knowledge, have an important role to play through the performance of their research and innovation functions. We have important part to play. Then the various sources of research fund, whether offshore and onshore, place high premium on the quality of proposal. Not only on your quality of development, also institutional integrity in managing funds. Very, very key. And then the national university system, go through the so-called valley of death. I will describe to you later what we mean by the valley of death in research. Dictated by funding mechanism available for taking research results to the market. Because when the moment you mention innovation, you are already talking of research results getting to the market. You don't innovate with research staying on either in journal publications or as patents or as research publications or reports being filed away. No, innovation means that you actually get to the market with the idea. Then 6, multidisciplinary approach to research in the Nigerian university system, patenting of intellectual property, establishment of research management office will go a long way in promoting research and attraction of funds. And you will see me later on emphasizing the importance of multidisciplinary. No agency gives research now to a donor. You just have to, there's no developmental issue that you can advise, that you can address, stay with only one discipline. It is not possible. Think of it. You need to bring in other disciplines, and unfortunately, most researchers in our university, we still behave like the green eagles of the 70s or 60s, when the team was really not a team. Odegbami will take the ball and not pass to Shuku. Those who he will want to go and score. Another player will take the ball and you don't miss the goal anymore. If you do that in research now, nobody even will give you research grant now. In which you are the only one. You need that to come together. But I used to think that it was easy to come together, but I've now discovered, based on my experience as Chancellor, it is not easy. We academics, even you have people who are doing research in the same department. A does not know what B is doing. When you travel alone, you don't go far. That is the message. You don't go far. I think that's one of the paradigm shifts that will be required to make the difference. So the structure of my presentation is to share with you the key drivers of knowledge and innovation and what is globalization. Then I give you case studies of classical roots of innovation based on experience, and then university and the challenges of research and innovation for development, and then I conclude. What is globalization? Well, as stated earlier by my minister, is the growing view of the world as a single coherent entity with respect to socio-economic planning, coupled with its enforced development as a single coherent entity under the pressure of international market forces, engineered primarily by the perspective, national interests, and foreign values of the Western world. In other words, we are being put together in the same mode, in one mode. But surely, that is not an easy thing to achieve. But the most devastating form of globalization is the economic globalization. There are other forms of globalization. You have cultural globalization, going on. If it is not cultural globalization, you ask me, why should our National Assembly take a decision that gay marriage should be criminalized, that is not part of our culture? And what happened? In the end of the West, you started seeing people even say that some of our aids will be withdrawn. That on the platform of human rights, that we should allow things like that. Now you ask me, where is the moral authority for anybody from outside Nigeria to be telling Nigeria what to do if it is not another form of cultural globalization? So, but the most devastating is the one happening in the economic, field in there. And I said that economic development has a serious impact on industrial development of any country. And I give you an example of the serious impact it's having now in Nigeria. It is well acknowledged that, of course, sustainable development industry is key. We are saying that we have high level of graduate unemployment. How are we going to solve it? Unless your industrial development is on the rise, there's no way. I was reading about 2 days ago when governor of Central Bank. I think he said that they should sack about 50% of the people in the okay. Now, you now tell me, which sector now is absorbing our graduates? Which sector? If government is now no longer absorbing, now tell me. The industrial sector, how vibrant is the Nigerian industrial sector now? How vibrant? The textile industry has collapsed. And most of it, maybe is the telecom. But even the telecom, what are they doing? They are downsizing. So the question now is, unless the industrial development will really move towards developing industry, there is no way we can solve the unemployment problem. And unemployment problem now is a time bomb. It's a time bomb. And that is why, okay, yes, if we are to really move towards something, it's nothing more that we have to take care, we have to take control of our economic space, especially the industrial space. And a university like this, I mean, of course, steeped in agriculture, surely, and agriculture being recognized as the major, sector that can really create a high level of employment. You can now see the importance and the responsibility that a university like this really, trusted on a university like this in terms of really getting the country out, of the woods. So industrial development is what I'm saying there. So I said global competitiveness is a different kind of conflict. There's no clash of competing military forces, and the struggle is not defined by national borders. All these things, even the Chinese now are here. Years ago, we used to talk of the IO cutting, where China was more or less cordoned up the entire world. But what has happened now? That's why I'm sorry when I see our unionists. Anytime as Vice Chancellor, NASU, more of NASU. They come to me and then we'll be talking, they introduce themselves. Comrade A, Comrade B, Comrade C, Comrade F. I just laugh. The people so comrade to us. Marxists, where are they? They are now more capitalist than capitalists. So we're still talking. Basically, when you look at globalization, what it's all about, it is nothing more than the control of your market and the control of your resources. Those are the two things that globalization is all about. And in respect of control of resources, the control of market, you see the Western world telling our government that yes, we must let market forces. You see the lack of World Bank telling us let market forces.